It's good, YouTube. Good morning. It's Black Ass here, back at you with another video presentation. And uh, let me just start from the beginning. As you can see, I'm not in my car today, and I'm not out of breath like I usually am. So it was at 12 to 1 in the afternoon yesterday, and I had been doing DoorDash, right? And I might have to add them in this video, but basically I had picked up a USPS order, and I had to pick it up at this woman's house and drop it off at the store because it was like a I think it was like a return. So pretty much what I do is pick it up from her house, drop it off at the store, take a picture of the receipt, and then I should be good to go for order completion. So I drive about, it seemed like 20 minutes out, and I had left a little bit early before, as soon as I got the order. And I drove all the way there, and mind you, her her house was in like a rural like suburb area, and she uh, she lived pretty far from like the downtown area, and just like the busy like city, I guess you might call it, or the busy road, you might say. And I turned the corner, and mind you, I'm like a mile to I'm like a mile towards her house, and I'm pretty deep in the suburbs, right? She had a house at the end of a cul-de-sac. I'm not gonna give out her address, but this video itself, it's not necessarily about her, and it's not necessarily about the issues I had with the customer. The everything played out perfectly fine. My issue is with her neighbor, and as I'm looking at the house number, because in the cul-de-sac, right, their mailbox usually has like the house number either written on the side or at the bottom. Or sometimes, what some white people love to do is they love to put their house number in giant, like, I guess, giant numbers to where you could see it. But I had to actually find the house number. And so her neighbor, right, was just outside, mind you, just either he was gardening or like getting some water to put on some flowers, to water his flowers and shit. Some upkeep in the yard. Uh, I had asked him, I'm like, you know where so and so, house is? And he said, oh, I don't know. Like, and he started, you know, we started to have conversation. All of a sudden, he asked me this question that I still don't know how I really feel about it. And he told me, I don't know if this is too personal, but can you ask me how it feels like to be a black man? And I kind of froze a bit because I don't really know how to answer. And I've in the past dealt with old white men and old white women asking me these questions. You know, with my last job, the reason why I left was because this old white woman kept touching me on my shoulder, and I had to leave due to harassment. And it's overall my HR not giving a fuck. But he asked me, and I'm like, "Why would you ask that question?" And he said, "Oh well, there's one black guy who lives here, and he's the coach for the basketball team." And I'm thinking, all right, in my head, I'm like, why would I care about if another black man in a predominantly suburb area coach for sports? And I asked him, I'm like, yo, like, what is it like to be a white man? And he said, oh, I don't know. There's just really not that many people out here. Um, we don't really get a lot of ethnicities out here. And he goes on about his wife being a flight attendant. He goes on about he never had any indoor plumbing till 13. And he goes on about how he's never even seen people of color. And this is my problem with, you know, older white people, or just white people in general. The reason why you guys have the suburbs is to cut yourself off from society. We all know damn well that we don't really see y'all mixed in, even, you know, in a rural neighborhood. You know, that's why there's condos that they have. That's why there's condominiums, um, residential areas that they have, estates and all that. And man, um, just my overall like opinion on that question. At first, when I came back after I had dropped off the order, because I had found the woman's house. She actually was just behind that nigga's house, and I just had to U-turn and then go in their driveway. But I pretty much just grabbed the package, and I had went all the way to the store, and this was about 10 miles out. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just try to do my job, because in reality, there's not really much I could do when it comes to just any overall like smart remarks about questions like these. And at first I was pissed because I wanted to, let's just say I would have ended up in jail. I know where this guy lives. I know his address. I know his house. I've seen his face. So if it ever had slipped in my mind in the last 24 hours, I probably would have been in jail right about now. I probably would have been a person of interest right about now. But I said, you know what? If we really want to go there, this guy probably doesn't really have that much life left in him to really see any diversity. And to do something to him will kind of be like it would be a cheat code because how I see it in society, yes, you may have more money than me. Yes, you may live in a nice house. You may have expensive things, but aside from materialistic lifestyle, genetically, you can't really mess with me, you know. And this is where I have to always remind myself that being mad about this issue all the time, you know, and trying to come up with a solution, it's not gonna do anything for me because at the end of the day, um, I still have a long life to live, and this dude probably has maybe until I'd say, if he's lucky, a good 5 years. And I can't really be mad at that. And overall, just to even answer that type of question, how does it feel to be a black man when an old white man asked me this? It's like, first of all, I know white people are still held up on these labels and shit. You know, he's black, he's white, he's Asian, he's Mexican, he's Portuguese, he's Ecuadorian, you know, you know, he's Indian. It's like even people of color don't even call themselves this. Like, do you really hear black people talking about, oh yeah, let me go to my black friend's house. Like, let me go to my black job. Like Joe Biden old ass. Let me go to my black barber. Nobody nobody talks like this of color. Nobody, especially, you know, people from African American descent. We don't call ourselves black. And white people don't call themselves white either. It's what's that word? A label, to label us in a category that the white man has called us, you know. And technically, I'm not a black man. I'm an African, first of all. I just happen to be born in America. But do I call myself an African American? No, because I don't give myself that label. America did. And um, America can try all these tactics to mentally and subconsciously think we're less than. Because even the word black, it's a word that has a negative connotation, you know, but it's something that has a dark pigmentation to it. That's really it, you know. The only thing I call black is my fucking car, dude. The only thing that's black is that bin right there, dude. The only thing that's black is my fucking shorts, dude. Like, but when you look at the color complexion, is this? No, because people are obsessed with color. People are obsessed with labels. People are obsessed with creating categories to put them in. When I see other races call themselves by their origin, their place of location, okay, that makes sense because they were there before being labeled this and that. Like in Africa, people have tribes, right? This is as basic as it gets. People are from a tribe. We're not all the same, you know. And if you like from an older generation, you already can tell who's who just by looking at their face. So we know their names, right? America, people from the same race were all in one category. And, you know, um, this is something the colonizer and the slave owner has put inside the minds of the American people, or just when the indoctrination of the Declaration of Independence and all that shit, you know, he's implemented that and he's put that in our society since the birth of a nation, you know. And you could go back into that and look into it, and you could see that since that origin, it's been nothing but labels. It's been nothing but stereotypes. It's been nothing but a discrimination tactic, mentally, physically, spiritually. And, you know, I'm not black, I'm African, you know. I'm not an African American because this is just a simple, you know, even a child could understand this. How could you be both African and American? That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. Do you understand the type of reverse psychology bullshit that has been placed within our society with this? With this label, right? And what I say to that old man, um, to be a black man, you know, I get to fuck your wife better than you. I get to live longer than you. I have better intuition. I'm smarter than you. I have more energy. You know, if we're going there, my nigga, if we're going there, but on the flip side of that same coin, I'm not a black man. I'm an African. So I had to really sleep on that. And when I woke up this morning, I told myself, I'm not even mad anymore, you know, because you have to think of it like this too. With white people, I had to come to the conclusion that there's no reason to reason with these people. There's no reason to have an intellectual conversation about race and a subcategory, knowing that what they put down for everybody else, they're gonna think that's how it is. But I already know, man, about race, identity, politics. I don't need to be taught about who's who and all that, because if you ask me, that puts people in a childlike mind state. I'm this, I'm that. It's like, dude, who gives a flying fuck? Like, and I'll say this, man, to close out this video, but like I said in my videos that didn't really get a lot of views in the past, um, in the next 20 to 30 years, you know, let's really see if there's gonna be a white man, you know, in society. But with that, y'all, continue to be who you be, man. Like, Don't let some old crackhead tell you that you this and that because they about to die anyways.